Palworld has lost 2/3 of its players in 2 weeks. The Steam charts don't look good. New content yet to be added. Is it over? Oh yes, my fellow pal traders. This is quite a funny little topic to me, and it's one I wanted to have a little talk about. This idea that Palworld is kind of finished, that it's just kind of a one and done, burns brightly but burns half as long. And look, there's not exactly a lack of merit in the idea, given the developers' past history with their games. It's kind of spotchy at best, some a lot further along than others, some still kind of just, is anything going to happen with them? And given how much Palworld, let's say, changed throughout its development, how much content was lost, and how much, well, let's say, rocky terrain they had to traverse to get to what honestly feels like a miracle of a both release and level of success, to go from this meme tier Pokemon with guns to actually creating a really fun, compelling, well, Pokemon-esque, survival-esque game that has taken everything by storm. It's ridiculously impressive. It's a story like no other. It's a real moment in gaming, and I think it's something that, you know, a year from now there'll be all sorts of video essays on YouTube of how Palworld tricked us all, and so on and so forth. And by tricked, I mean tricked into spending many, many hours happily enjoying a really well-made and fun game, which inherently is what it is. Palworld's success says a lot about both A, its own just genuine fun that it provides, and B, something people have been desperate for, which is a more competent Pokemon-esque creature game than actual Pokemon is currently providing. But hey, that's a whole other thing. Obviously, you can't strictly compare Palworld to Pokemon, because Pokemon's an RPG with a story, and Palworld's just an open-world survival, arc survival-esque game where you happen to capture creatures, but I digress. The point is, we've now reached a stage where it's sold 25 million copies, which is utterly bonkers ludicrous. No one, and I guarantee it, no one who had any part in this game thought for even a second that this would be possible. Yet, of course, when something is so popular, it becomes quite trendy to try and tear it down, and hence this video here. It also becomes fun to talk about the trying to take it down, and again, hence this video here. Now, if we look at the actual legitimate numbers, I mean, you can definitely see a sort of sad picture. Taking that incredible spot of second on Steam of all time, only to then go from 2.1 million players down to, air quotes, only 200k. 200k concurrent players on Steam, by the way, is still really impressive and something a lot of games would love. Last Epoch, an ARPG that's just launched, reached about 200k, and that's a smash success for them, and I'm really happy for them. And Palworld has dropped to that amount over a month, which says a lot more than the literal number that it is. But that said, the literal number still is meaningful in that, yeah, 1.8 million people have stopped playing it. But also, yeah, duh, that makes sense. These stupid doom and gloom articles of, oh, it's lost its players, it's dying. I mean, it's an early access game, and we have experienced all of the content in it. We've had a lot of fun. It was worth the price of admission. Even if nothing else ever gets added, changed, it just dies tomorrow, it still was worth paying for, playing, and having the fun with. I hope it doesn't, but I feel like that part needs to be, you know, actually acknowledged, that what we have already gotten was worthwhile and then some, and I don't know about you guys, but I've gotten way more hours in Palworld than I would care to admit, and, you know, that's all good, and it isn't showing really any signs of stopping. We have things like actual official Xbox controllers being branded and sold in Palworld skins. Oh, and the actual Xbox itself too. I mean, that is quite the mark of success, and definitely not something taken lightly if the game's just going to be abandoned and they're going to move on to their next project, yada yada. But even that notion is crazy because, again, it sold 25 million copies. You don't get that level of, wow, silver bullet lightning in a bottle, and don't push the hell out of it, don't support the hell out of it. It would be the most moronic decision to not see anything change. And the thing is, we know things are coming. Yes, we have the roadmap that was released a while back. We know we're getting new pals, new maps, PvP, changes, updates, raid fights, all of that good stuff, and I've talked on and speculated about that in the past. There is plenty of pals in the game files that are accessible. You can draw them out and actually use them, fight with them, have them in your world that just aren't there naturally. They're locked away, cut for whatever reason, but still actually in the game itself, which is very curious. On top of the radar sphere, which lets you capture other trainers' pals, presumably something to do with PvP or the eventual arena, and all of that's all well and good. But the thing is, we have had from the devs a warning to not build a base on the Big Tree Island. The tree is the secret, yada yada, the tree holds the truth. This area that we can fly over to, and it's just a big flat bit of land once you go past the red wall, is very specifically, of course, designed to have something important, a finale, like a big end area, perhaps with stronger pals, perhaps with new pals, but it's not supposed to just weirdly stop after you beat all 5 towers and then nothing happens, and oh, that's a shame. And the fact that they have warned you not to build a base there is very telling, and the only way to interpret that is, well, they're going to update it, transform that area, add it to the game, and if you've built a base there, well, it's going to get deleted, removed, and you're going to be very sad. It also tells us that if bases are in other places and they update it, they're going to be fine. It's just going to add to the map, but don't maybe camp down in the literal construction site, which also is kind of a shame because it is a really cool, cheeky place to build a base, but that's very exciting and very hopeful. And I think more than anything, I just kind of like the response that the devs themselves had to a lot of this, oh, it's all over now, doom and gloom criticism. With Palworld quickly approaching the 1 month mark, it's interesting to look back on my own thoughts for launch. In May of 2023, I was convinced that Palworld could break the 50,000 player mark. just reading that, knowing what happened. Anything above that seemed unobtainable. It has taken years to get to this point, and Palworld only really begins from here. Everyone is working hard to fix the issues and prepare new content and pals, so already really hopeful, and yes, you would expect this to happen. Some of you have had your fun over the last 3 weeks and found yourself putting the game down. Yeah, as I said, you've experienced it, and then you've moved away, and you'll come back when there's new stuff. That's very normal. So this emerging Palworld's lost X% is, and I agree, lazy. And the rest of it goes on to, well, reassure that, yeah, go play other games, go have fun, we are hard at work making new stuff, and come back and check it out when we've actually done it. New content will come, and it's going to be awesome, but these things take time. If you're still playing Palworld, we love you. If you're no longer playing Palworld, we still love you, and we'll hope you come back for round 2 when you're ready. And I think that's a really good, sweet, and very much accurate message from the team there. It makes a lot of sense, and I do think that we are at least going to get some more stuff. How much and for how long is up in the air, but there is no way we're not going to get something. You simply don't, well, abandon this level of success unless you really have to, and they don't. The Nintendo looking into it has come to nothing. They're clearly in the safe at this point, otherwise something already would have happened. So they're free to just kinda make it happen, and that's really exciting. So what do you think? Where do you stand on is Palworld dead? Will we actually get anything new and all that doom and gloom? I am hopeful. I don't think it's impossible that nothing else ever happens. I don't think it's impossible that they're just happy with with what's happened and they're going to move on with their lives. But at the same time, even in that worst case scenario, as I said, what we've already gotten was worthwhile. So on that basis, yeah, you know? But yeah, I would love to know your thoughts on all of this, and for now, like you've enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more, consider supporting the future of this channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.